The U.S. economy had its worst quarter since 2022 as President Trump's policy changes certainly stressed consumers and some businesses. New government data on the GDP shows the U.S. economy shrank from January to March.
It's Biden. That's not Trump, because we came in on January. This is quarterly numbers.
Joining me now to talk more about all of this is Alex Padilla, the chair and professor for MSU's economics department. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we so appreciate your insight you're going to share here with us. We were hearing a lot today about the GDP. Can you explain what that is and why that is so important?
Yeah, so the GDP is the gross domestic product. It's basically how much goods are being produced within the country during a given year. But the government uses how much goods are actually being sold in the country within a given year, minus the imports. And it does matter because it gives us a sense of how healthy our economy is. And it gives us how well our consumers are, our investors are, and what's happening in terms of employment, and can give us some prediction about the impact of specific policies.
With the recent tariffs put in place, do you think that's already had an impact on shrinking the GDP?
Yeah, so what's happening right now, I will not put too much weight on that number for the simple reason that actually the GDP negative number is due to the fact that in March and February, consumers basically rushed to buy a lot of goods and services, businesses rushed to buy a lot of raw materials and equipment because they're in anticipation of the tariff. So what's happening is that there's that huge number that comes where as a almost 5% negative impact on the GDP. Now, again, economists have this way that says imports should not count against the GDP because actually we count the imports to some extent in consumer spending and inventories. The problem is that the government is very good at calculating imports, it's very good at calculated consumption, consumer spending, but they are not so good at calculating inventories. So when you look at the inventories numbers, they track slightly below the growth rates of imports, which explain actually what's happening on the negative impact.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you for breaking that down with us. Everyone, of course, is talking about the Federal Reserve. Will they or will they not reduce these interest rates? Do you think that they will as we move forward?
Well, economists don't have a crystal ball. And the target of inflation rate for the Fed is about 2%. The latest data where we have is about 2.3%, which is below the 2.5% we had in February from year to year. On a monthly basis, the prices are pretty flat. But again, there's this anticipation of a tariff that will raise the prices. If you decrease the interest rate, you are going to encourage consumers to buy goods, which could actually trigger against inflation and which will lead a lot of problems.
So we'll leave that to them and let them figure that all out for us, right? Well, thank you so much, Alex Padilla, for being with us and sharing this insight. We appreciate it.